Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, I hope you all are fine and doing well. I am Samar Ijaz, your English instructor. This video lesson is for grade 3. So students, now moving towards our assignment. This is our unit 1. What stories do people tell? Before reading the text, let's have a look at our sight words. Now what you have to do is to listen to me very carefully and repeat the words after me. Our first word is skip. Skip. Skip means to move or proceed with leaps and bounds. Trip, hop. Let's skip to the last item on the agenda. Our next word, ahead. Ahead. Ahead means to move in forward direction or position. Go ahead and take your seat. Next word, cliff. Cliff. Cliff means a very steep, vertical or overhanging face of earth, rock or ice. Standing at the edge of the cliff, we watched waves crashing on the shore. Next word, balance. Balance. Balance means to make equal in amount, degree or status. Skater suddenly lost his balance and fell. Next word, stream. Stream. Stream is a body of running water flowing on earth. A stream flows through the field. Next word, scream. Scream. Scream means to voice a sudden sharp, loud cry, producing harsh and high tones. The crowd screamed with excitement. So students, now moving towards our next sight words. So students, our next word is turn around. Turn around. Turn around means to become changed for the better, to act in an abrupt and surprising manner. The company has achieved remarkable turnaround past year. Next word, boa constrictor. Boa constrictor. Boa constrictor is a species of large, non-venomous, heavy-bodied snake. Boa constrictor are found in tropical regions. Next word, shout. Shout. Shout means to utter a sudden, loud cry. There is no need to shout at me. Next word, jump. Jump. Jump is to propel oneself upward or in forward direction. The circus clown jumped through the hoop. Next word, safe. Safe. Safe means free from harm or risk. The kids were safe in the cabin. Our last word is get away. Get away. Get away is an act of getting free from danger. We are planning a weekend getaway to the mountains. So students, these were our sight words. Now moving towards the reading of our text. So students, now moving towards the reading of our text. This is our Oxford Discover Writing and Spelling book, page number 4, unit 1. What stories do people tell? Julia and the Boa Constrictor. Students, have you got any idea what a campfire story is? Let me tell you. Campfire stories are stories people tell when they are sitting around a campfire outside. What kind of story do you think would make a good campfire story? I think something horror or something mysterious will make a good campfire story. Now, what you have to do is to keep your pencils in your hand and mark the sight words. Julia and the boa constrictor. Julia and Marcus are walking with their parents. It is sunny and they are having fun. Julia is skipping. Underline word skipping. She is ahead of everyone. Underline word ahead. Now here they are telling us the story of two kids, Julia and Marcus, who are enjoying and having fun. It is a sunny day and they are walking with their parents. Come on, Marcus, she says. Skipping is exciting. No, says Marcus. Skipping is boring. Julia skips by a stream. Now kindly underline word stream. She skips up and up. Now as they are telling that Julia is skipping, she is jumping from one place to another and she is saying to her brother that skipping is very exciting. Whereas Marcus feels that skipping is boring and it is a monotonous work. Suddenly, she is on top of a large cliff. Underline word cliff. She starts to lose her balance. Underline the word balance. Now as Julia is skipping, she skips by the stream and suddenly she is on a large cliff. Cliff is an overhanging area. And she suddenly starts to lose balance there. Now moving to our next page. Help! She screams. Help me. Underline word scream. Turn around and come back, says Dad. Now as Julia is on a cliff, her mom and dad are standing behind and her dad said that turn around and come back to us. Julia turns around, but she sees a boa constrictor in front of her. Underline word turn around and underline word boa constrictor. It's large and it's hissing at her. Now, as we have read the story, they are telling that Julia is on a large cliff. She's on a hanging cliff. Now what happened? She's very afraid. She's screaming for help. Her parents are saying that turn around and come to us. But as she turns around, she sees a large boa constrictor. Now what are boa constrictor? Boa constrictor are actually non-venomous, very large snakes. Now moving forward towards our story. What can I do? She asks. Now as she is very frightened, she is asking, what can I do? Skip, shouts Marcus. Now as they are terrified, all of them are very frightened. So his brother gives her an idea that you should skip. Jump, shouts Mom. Kindly underline word jump and underline word shout. Julia skips. Then she jumps over the boa constrictor. She is safe. Now as she understood that her mom and brother both want her to jump. So what she did, she jumped and then she skipped and then she jumped over the boa constrictor and now she is safe. That is, she jumped over the snake. Underline word jump and underline word safe. I am going to walk the rest of the way, she says. Now as Julia knows that she is safe, now she thinks that I will walk to the rest of the way. You can walk later, says Marcus. Right now, we need to get away from this boa constrictor. Run! Underline the word get away. So, students, basically in this story, they told us that Julia and Marcus were having fun. Julia was skipping and jumping here and there. And then what happened? She came on a large cliff. She was frightened and she lost her balance. That is, she was not able to keep her balance or keep her movement maintained. Then as she suddenly looked behind, she saw a large boa constrictor. Now boa constrictors are very large non-venomous snakes. She was very frightened and then her parents and her brother suggested that you should jump. So what Julia did? She jumped. As she jumped and she skipped, she was safe from the boa constrictor. So at the end, her brother was suggesting now we should get away from this boa constrictor as soon as possible. Now students, what you have to do is to read this text your own self in order to improve your pronunciation. Now here we are going to discuss our exercise questions of Unit 1 of Oxford Discover Writing and Spelling book. Page number 5. First of all, let's see our part C. Understand. Which of these words describe the story? Circle. So you can see we have been provided with a word bank. Now you have to circle the words which are describing the story of Julia and the boa constrictor. Is the story exciting, boring, interesting, frightening, tiring? I think the story is very interesting. So I am going to circle interesting. Now you have to give your own opinion. What do you think the story is? Is it exciting, boring, interesting, frightening, or tiring? Moving to our next part, part D. Two frightening things happen to Julia. What are they? Now as we have read the story, we know that Julia was jumping and skipping. Now the first frightening thing that happened was she came on a large cliff and she lost her balance. This was the first frightening thing. And the second frightening thing was that as Julia turned around to move towards her parents, she saw a large boa constrictor and she was thunderstruck. So these are the two frightening things that happened to Julia. Moving forward towards our part E. Many campfire stories are scary. What do you think this is? Now as we know that many campfire stories are horror and very scary. They are very frightening. What do you think? Is it scary? I find this story is very interesting and it is very exciting. So you have to give your own opinion that whether this story is interesting or whether it is scary, whatever you feel about the story of Julia and the boa constrictor. So this is the end of our part 1. I will meet you next time with another very interesting and amazing part. Until then, take care. Allah Hafiz.